Hey guys, my name is Shaq, and I'm going to be showing you guys my industry case study slideshow today. Let's get into it. My first slide is the title slide, Industry Case Studies, Audio Engineer, Mix and Master Pathway by Shaq Jones. My dream job is an audio engineer. Audio engineer, mix and mastered engineer also. Now, I have been actually engineering for about 5 to 6 years. At this point, I've built my at-home studio, and I've been running a business for the last 5 or 6 years. Currently, I do mix and master, also produce, and I'm an audio engineer. So I also didn't know, looking into all of this, that well, I mean, I knew that they were all kind of separate things, but I didn't realize to a certain extent, because most of the audio engineers end up being the mixing engineer along with it. Sometimes they do have mastering engineers, sometimes we do it all. So I just never realized that there are really separate roles like that, because I've always seen it done by the same engineer, and they typically do it all. And I've taught myself to do them all. So audio engineers record high quality vocals and instruments. So that's also one of the things I do too. Mixing, definitely mixing. Learning, I want to say first coming into recording, I did not know that there was a difference between mixing and mastering. I thought it was just like a together thing. Like if you mix, you master, not like there's definitely steps through this. So it's like, yeah, audio engineer, he gets it recorded. Mixing, you're kind of doing pretty much after the recording, and then pretty much after the person gets it nice and mixed down to a great sound, then you're going in with the mastering, which you're, basically pushing the song to its limit without distorting it, bringing all the sounds out, keeping the dynamics and everything like that. This is some of the things I've learned over the years of doing this, along with being in class and learning different stuff. But I feel like when you get to that next level, you don't have to be everything under the sun like how I am right now, running a studio by myself. So yeah, this is definitely good knowledge for me. I just had to look into studio setup. So this is also my at-home studio setup. You can just see it, and yeah, let's get to it. So sets up microphone and interface, monitor and cables, opens project session in DAW, FL Studios or Pro Tools or Logic, check signal flow and fix technical issues, confirm session plan with artist or producer. So I mean, this is the studio setup. It's just some things I wanted to throw in a slide. A lot of people, for the people who don't know it, setting up microphone and interface, monitor. Typically, if you're going to a studio, these things are already really set up. I mean, if you're in a studio, like my at-home studio, I typically put my mic away. So I typically case my mic back up, put it in my mic locker. This way it's not being damaged, but my wires stay ran. Unless you're like pulling out cables for a guitarist, or might have to run some other wires for playing instruments and other things like that. My stuff is pretty much sat where it's gonna sit for the majority of his lifetime, unless it's like I have to pivot on a play or something like that, and I'm having something completely different than what I'm normally used to. Recording session. Position microphones in the best sound capture. Record multiple takes of vocals and instruments. Direct artists with feedback during performance. Monitors levels to prevent distortion and clipping. Repeat takes until finish. So once again, one of my artists, we're in the booth, we're in a session, recording, I'm in the playback room, they're in the booth, and we're just going, or we're feeding off each other. Sometimes I'm directing him or he or she of what it is that I want out of the track. Majority of my sessions, they'll come in and they'll have an idea of what they're trying to capture and what they're going for. Some people typically pre-record some of the songs, like on BandLab or even in notes or something like that, of just what they're going for, and I'll ask to hear them before we actually get into the session. The next slide is editing workflow. Organize and label audio tracks properly. Clean cut recording, remove background noise, unwanted sound, fix timing issues, and improve clarity. Prepare session for mixing stage. I actually sat here on my downtime and cooked up a template. So I'll have a couple of lead vocals, and I'll have like my in and outs or dubs. I'll have an ad-lib track, either my 2 tracks on or stems for the beat. I already have them pretty much labeled, and I'll have a record track. So every time I record something, I can just pull it up to where it needs to go. Like if it's a vocal, I'll just pull it up. If it's a lead vocal, I'll pull it up to the lead vocal. If it's a dub track, I'll pull it up to the dub track. If it's an ad-lib track, I'll put it up to the ad-lib track. This way, even if I'm not the one mixing or mastering the song, it's already labeled. So when it's time to bounce it out and send it off, it's already labeled. I don't have to go back and do the work. But there are some people who just do the work and then they'll have somebody come label it and then they'll ship it off, kind of thing. Reflection, to be honest, I've learned a lot. This is another picture of my studio. I've learned a lot. Like I said, I did not know those two jobs were even a job. The assistant engineer and like the audio technician. Did not know those two things were a job. And if I had to apply for some roles, even if I couldn't get like a internship, I would go for those. Like I said, working side by side with an engineer definitely would get me my reps in. You know, it's just a lot to be in the room and watch the creativity and stuff like that. Networking with people, may also be able to build my own clientele off of just being in a room with people or have a good conversation with people in the room while still being able to do my job. Yeah, this is my slideshow. My name is Shaq, and I appreciate you guys for tapping in.